Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. Still trying to get over my throat issues, and still trying to get over the issues with YouTube. They've got me blocked for some reason from my channel. I can't figure why. Some sort of silly copyright issue, but we're blasting right through that. And I think tonight, unless I'm mistaken, I think that we're actually broadcasting on both Twitter and YouTube. I'm not sure, but I think we're broadcasting on both Twitter and YouTube. At least that's my intention, is to be broadcasting on both Twitter and YouTube. I looks like I am live on Twitter, which is pretty cool. And not YouTube. Let's see if we're also live on Facebook. So let's see. Am I live on Facebook as well? We are live on Facebook as well. So if we're we're not actually live on Facebook, but we're where you can actually hit on Facebook and get the video. So we're doing our best, ladies and gentlemen, to get the word out here, and we're doing our best to take care of the bad hair day. We're doing our best to take care of the issues that we have with YouTube. I mean, we have 115,000 followers on Twitter. So the idea and the hope is to have some of you that join us on Twitter, some of my 115,000 followers on Twitter, to come over to the YouTube channel at Jeff Daugherty Show and join us there as well. We have over pretty much real close to 1,100 videos there. And we have a great following there. We've got great sections there for you to learn many different things and to pick up all your heresy in one place. I like to give you one-stop shopping for all of your heresy. And we do that right there at our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to make comments, you can make comments. I guess evidently on the Twitter channel you can make comments. And I'm trying to get the actual view better for you on Twitter. New at this, not sure how to make it look good, not sure how to make it act good. And at the same time, well, that's a little bit better, I think, give you a good view as well on the YouTube that we're making here. We're actually making a YouTube video since we can't go live. So we're doing the best that we can. And I want to talk to you tonight about death, and the death of the Lord. If you've followed me at all for any length of time, you've heard me talk about Da'ath. You've heard me talk about it on Coast to Coast. You've heard me talk about it here with you in these type of forums. And basically what Da'ath is, it's D-A''ATH. And it's a word that comes from the Old Hebrew. It's a word that Daniel used to describe the knowledge that was going to be revealed in the last days. Daniel said that the Almighty told him, and that was the Elohim. Daniel was a worshiper of the Elohim, not the Lord. Daniel said that the Almighty told him to seal up his knowledge for the times of the end, when men would be running to and fro at great speed. If you get into that in the original Hebrew, it means when men will be traveling great distances, all men, in great quickness of time. So it describes perfectly our time with mass transportation. And it said that in this time, the Lord would be bringing out what we have what we call the Mandela effect, in order to prevent the emergence of death, which is basically knowledge from the divine, sacred, sealed knowledge from the divine. And I think it has two meanings. There might be some new knowledge coming to us. That's possible. But it's also possible that there's so much knowledge in the Bible, that we have not allowed ourselves to understand and take possession of, because we have not opened our minds up to the fact that the Bible, though it may have been written thousands and thousands of years ago, was written in a way that people in our day would understand, expect, and look at the scriptures and say, oh, we shouldn't read these with the perspective of a person of 100 AD. We should read these with the perspective of a person of the 21st century. So not only will new knowledge be open to us, I believe, but we'll also have knowledge open to us just from the fact that we realize, we've been looking at this the wrong way. Let's look at it through our knowledge of today. And as we allow death to emerge, we are bringing on the death of the Lord. Jeff, do you really think we can kill the Lord? Well, I don't think we have to kill the Lord. And there is a reason why we haven't moved out in this aggressiveness that we talked about, contacting the other gods and removing the Lord, because I don't think the Lord's really in charge, I've come to believe. I think that he's a fake, he's a fraud, he's a phony. And the only reason that he's in charge, quote unquote, the only reason that he is the God of this world, quote unquote, is because we have not stepped up and taken our divinity, our sovereignty, and our freedom. I'm convinced he's not really in charge of anything. He is the classic man behind the curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz was. He's just like the Wizard of Oz. You know, the Christ said it doesn't matter what you eat, that what you eat comes out into the draught, but it's what comes out of a man that makes him righteous or unrighteous. Somebody's asking me about eating pig. So the point of the matter is that, and then there's an old adage that says, what you resist continues to persist. And I think if we resist the Lord in terms of battle and fight and go after him, it's possible, and I'm looking for input from you on this, it's possible that we may just allow him to persist as an entity. It allows us to persist, allows him to persist as an entity because we're resisting him. And really, what we almost should do, thank you for the hearts, is ignore the Lord because he really is irrelevant. And when you think about, he's the God of the Old Testament, how could he be irrelevant? All he did was trick or bribe a people to follow him. And he used those people to murder, maim, kill, and destroy, and to spread his fame and to spread his name. So did Israel spread the Lord's fame, or did the Lord spread Israel's fame? Which was first, chicken or egg? But in these days, when's the last time you saw the Lord do anything? I'll wait. When's the last time you saw the Lord do anything? Maybe the Mandela effect he's doing through his wave technology that we talked about earlier today. When's the last time you saw the Lord actually do something? When's the last time you saw the Lord, period? Could it be that he is the man behind the curtain? Could it be that he's really not powerful? Could it be that we could just ignore him? Focus on our own divinity, focus on our own sovereignty, focus on our own freedom, focus on our own da'af, focus on our own knowledge, focus on the knowledge that is emerging that we're divine, focus on the knowledge that is emerging that we're free, focus on the knowledge that is emerging that we are sovereign, focus on the knowledge that is emerging that Christianity is a fear and guilt control matrix. Focus on the knowledge that is emerging that the New Testament has been jumbled intentionally in hopes that we don't read it in chronological order and figure out what it really says. Focus on the knowledge that is emerging that the true God of this universe is not a God that kills babies, that dashes babies against rocks, that kills babies in their mother's wombs, that kills men, that kills women, that kills boys, that kills girls. The real God of this universe is not a God that is wrathful. The real God of this universe is not a God that's full of anger. The real God of this universe is not a God that's full of revenge. The knowledge is emerging. The knowledge of Da'af is coming to us and saying, now, wait a minute. Let's think about this a minute here. Let's think about this a minute. And as people think, as people ponder, And as people begin to do so, they begin to realize, wait a minute, maybe this thing is not like we've been told that it is. Maybe we should take another look at this whole God of the Bible. Maybe we should take a look at this being that is vengeful, wrathful, warring, killing. Compare him to the Christ, which said that he was a being of love and demonstrated that he was a being of love. Compare him to the Christ that said, I'm here to bring enlightenment to everyone. Bring him to the place where we are listening to the truth and not to the lies. Da'ath knowledge leads to the death of the Lord. And here's why it leads to the death of the Lord. Because the more da'ath we get, the more knowledge we move into, the more we forget about the Lord, the more we ignore the Lord. And the more we ignore the Lord, the less power that he has, because he gains his sustenance, his power, simply by our intention, our blood, and our worship. If we take all of those away from him, he will die a death of attrition. He will simply waste away to nothing. So perhaps the best way to dethrone the Lord as the unjust servant, perhaps the best way to dethrone the Lord as the unjust steward, perhaps the best way to dethrone the Lord as the fallen, failed, flawed God of this world is just to move on past him, forget about him. For he really is. He really is. Allah is the God and the Lord, and he isn't dead. Allah is the God, and Allah is the Lord. The Allah of Islam, the Allah of Judaism, the Allah and the Lord of Christianity, all the same God. They're not dead. And they're not dead because we still keep thinking about them. We still keep talking about them. We still keep worshiping. We're still afraid of them. We still keep resisting them, so they still keep persisting. You're right. I just was reading a comment. Allah, the Lord, G_D of Judaism, all the same dude. Thank you for the hearts. And the only reason they're still alive, they are, someone says, Tulpas, you're on to my next video. My next video coming either later tonight or tomorrow is talking about that very subject. Very, very good. Smart people watching this. Come over to my YouTube channel, Jeff Daugherty Show YouTube. We have nearly 11,000 subscribers, nearly 1,100 videos. Go over there. There's 115,000 of you that follow me here on Twitter, and I'm trying to figure out how I made 101,000 of, or I've got 115 minus 11. I made 104,000 of you so mad that you are not over on my YouTube channel, but there's 115,000 of you. I'm hoping by doing these videos here that will migrate some of you over to the YouTube channel, and likewise will migrate somebody from the YouTube channel over here. And plus, they can click on Facebook now and watch. Have you noticed we're really trying to do all we can do to bring this message out? Because why? And the hearts are flowing steadily, so that's a good indication. It has to be. Sorry, my throat is really in trouble, but can't stop. The reason why I'm blowing this out, and I got banned, he's a schizo blood god with multiple personalities. You're exactly right. And I can't see who you are. It's too little. But you're exactly right. I got a copyright strike from YouTube, so I'm shut down from live streaming for 3 weeks. But I'm thinking it's going to be a good thing because in the long run, broadcasting on Twitter, broadcasting on Facebook is going to help us migrate people to the YouTube platform. And it's going to get, arguably 125,000 people combined with the two platforms. Let's get together. And why? Because we've got to get this da'ath knowledge out. It's great to get it out over YouTube. It's great to get it out over Coast to Coast and all the other great radio shows I've been on. But let's get it out over Twitter as well. Pardon me. Da'ath means knowledge, emerging knowledge. Let's get it out over Facebook as well. Let's get more of this da'ath out, which means knowledge, revealed knowledge, divine knowledge, sacred knowledge, sealed knowledge. Let's get more of it out. So perhaps in the long run, being hit with a copyright strike from YouTube, perhaps in the long run, that's fortuitous. Because it gave me the shove I needed to broadcast live on Twitter, to broadcast live on Facebook. And even when we're back on YouTube, because I'm fighting that copyright strike and I believe it's going to be removed, we'll still continue to do it just like this. I bought a tripod for my iPhone. I got a nice little lapel mic. Da'ath, knowledge is life. Da'ath literally means knowledge, but somebody said da'ath is life, and I would say knowledge is life, absolutely. Again, keep those hearts coming. I don't know what the hearts are from, but I've got to believe they're a good thing. And if you're on Twitter or Periscope or on the Facebook link, I think you can see the hearts. If you're on YouTube, you're saying, what is this guy talking about, the hearts? Well, there's these cute little hearts that come up on the right side, apparently when people like something. So what is the live stream about? This live stream is about this, my friend. This live stream is about the fact that the Lord is the Wizard of Oz. He's a fake God. That's right, the God of the Bible, Lord, Yahweh, Jehovah, Marduk. I call him Rat Bastard because he was created without a daddy. He is a fake, a fraud, a phony. And we are in the midst of what is called da'ath knowledge, the emergence of divine knowledge. It sends you a heart whenever we tap on the screen. Okay, cool. It is the emergence of this knowledge. It is the emergence of this knowledge that the Lord is not really the big bad God that we think he is. And it's the emergence of our realizing that we're divine. We're sovereign. We are free. Wow, you're deceived. You believe we came from fish or monkeys. Are you stupid or what? We didn't come from no fish. We didn't come from no monkeys. We were created in the image of the Elohim with the spark of divinity within. You're stupid because you think you're filled with original sin when you've got the spark of divinity within. Wake up. What's the matter with you? Let me shake you by your lapels. That's what this broadcast is about. Da'ath is emerging. Knowledge is emerging. I am in the knowledge-given business. And cousin, business is a booming. Somebody says, don't get angry. I'm not angry. I'm happy. We're in the knowledge-expanding business. And as the knowledge expands, the Lord dies. Because we forget about him. The Lord is irrelevant. The Lord is irrelevant. The baby killers become irrelevant. The killer of men, no, I'm not an atheist. I believe in the Christ. I believe in the Elohim. I told you we're created by the Elohim. Fourth word in the Bible, in the beginning, God. Look it up, Elohim. Gods and goddesses, male and female, more than one. No, I'm not an atheist. I believe in the gods. I believe in the goddesses. Not an atheist. I'm just not stupid enough to believe in the Lord anymore. I mean, I believe in him. I believe that he's a failed God. I believe in him. I believe he's a flawed God. I believe in him. I believe he's a phony God. I believe in him. He's that dumpy old man behind the curtain, making us believe he's the Wizard of Oz. He's a fake. He's a failure. He's a phony. And Jesus is plastic Jesus. Jesus is not real. The Christ is, but Jesus isn't. Go to my YouTube channel, Jeff Daugherty Show, YouTube. Jeff Daugherty Show, YouTube. You can answer all of your questions right there. There you go. Of course, it doesn't make no sense because you've been lied to for thousands of years and you got cognitive dissonance. You can't get it out of your head. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Christ is real, not Jesus. Bingo. I wish I could see who you are, but you got it right. Death is expanding. Knowledge is growing. As knowledge grows, the Lord dies, because we realize we're not born in original sin. We got the spark of divinity within. We realize we don't need salvation because we're not sinners. We realize we don't need a savior, and we don't have to be blackmailed by the church that says they got the only one. Knowledge expands. We realize that we got the spark of divinity within. We've been given the ways and the truths that lead unto life. And we've been left with peace that passes all understanding. The message of plastic Jesus and the rat bastard Yahweh God are lies, and they're dying, because knowledge of our spark of divinity within, the Christ said, you're not born of the original sin, the kingdom of God's in you. That knowledge is coming. That knowledge is expanding. The hearts are flowing, and we are now knowing that we're divine, we're sovereign, we're free, and that the Lord, plastic Jesus, they ain't for you and me. We're moving on up. We're being our own gurus. We're guiding our own spirits. We're mastering our own ascension. Christ didn't die for me. Jesus saves from what? I ain't got nothing to be saved from. I was born with a spark of divinity within, not original sin. Jesus may save, because he might use coupons, he might shop at Costco, and there's no such thing as eternal damnation. You're looking for damnation, but the Christ is giving you the words of jubilation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good news. Knowledge is emerging. You can forget about death. You can forget about this whole guilt and fear control matrix, and you can take a hold of the peace that passes all understanding. Let the knowledge fill your mind. Let the knowledge fill this world. Because as knowledge grows, the fear and guilt matrix of the Lord, and even the Lord himself, dies. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Come over to my YouTube channel, Jeff Daugherty Show. Find out how to be your own guru. Find out how to guide your own spirit. Find out how to master your own ascension. Find out how to ask questions and question answers. And find out how to stay fearless, my friends. And find out how to indoctrinate yourself.